Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you guys, and welcome in the ring. Welcome in the ring. I'm practicing my accent there, folks. Welcome to each and every one of you. Folks, like we can't move this show to the US after all. We are usually set at 8 promptly, and then we want to come on, and it's all manner of trials and tribulations. We wanted to syndicate our program, move to the US where we have better opportunities and all of that, but apparently not. Apparently the internet and so on are having it. Dean Inglewood and Latoya Morris joining us there on YouTube in the suburbs. We also have Damian James in the suburbs as well. We have Sharon Harry. We don't say Sharon in the US. We say Sharon. Sharon Harry and Wesley and all the other folks joining us there in the suburbs on YouTube. We are tremendously privileged to have each and every one of you guys. I'm battling. We're having some trouble with the green screen and a whole host of other issues, but nonetheless, nonetheless, we are happy to have each and every one of you. Pennsylvania, Dwayne is locked in the house from Pennsylvania. Let me see that name again. Let me see Dwayne's whole name. Dwayne, welcome. Welcome in the ring, Dwayne. From all the way from Pennsylvania, we got Mark Alman. We got, who else do we have? We have Marla Karen Pandey, Marla Pandey. We got Orwin John Cook, Renetta Andrews. We got Odwin as well. He's in the ring. Odwin Wilson. We have Milton Granham is joining us there on YouTube as well. Raul Brando, Ramatar. We got Hazelyn King as well, who's joining us. Freddie Jackson and David Hamilton. Come on down. Yvonne Rodriguez. Good to see you, Yvonne. Folks, we're in the diaspora. We are privileged. We are privileged to be in the US of A. Had a good time in, where did I go today? In Atlanta. I was in Atlanta today. Had a privilege of seeing the CNN headquarters there in Atlanta. Had a tremendous time. Kitty's in the house. Kim, a very good afternoon to you. Kim, I'm bringing you back some Atlanta air and perhaps a souvenir. Idol Rodney, good to see you there as well. And Claudine LaRose and Kim Westmoreland. We also have, who do we also have here? We also Morna, Monroe, Shamiza, McDonough, Mendonca rather, Jennifer Jackson, Patricia Asana, Alia Waldron. Alia, how are you doing? Richmond Hill, I'm seeing you guys over the weekend. Richmond Hill, I want to see you guys over the weekend. I'm coming down there to Flatbush and Church Avenue over the weekend there. We're going to have a great time, guys. Looking forward to seeing so many of you. Had a great time in Atlanta. I was in North Carolina yesterday. Had a great time there as well. Good to touch base with so many folks in Atlanta today. Good to see you guys working hard with integrity, working for the man. Good to see each and every one of you guys. And as you come on, we invite you to share the live stream. Share the live stream. Good to see each and every one of you, wherever you're joining us from. Anicia Prince and Marsha Glasgow, Colette Isaacs and Sion Evans. Good to see all of you. Onessa Wardin, Filio Asing, Claudia LaRose Duqua. Good to see you, Claudia. Good to see you, Precious Mineral. Good to see you, Karen Black and Samantha Gilles. We call in the register, folks. Just say present. Is it Vernie Henry? You might be silent. Vernie Henry. Lolo Field Mingo. Wow, interesting. We don't know that's a fake profile. Lolo Field Mingo. We got some perverts on here too, you know. Perverts on here. We got to put some ankle bracelets on to them and ask the authorities. Let us know where they're living. I see Rudy is also in the HISA. Rudy Hines. Good to see you. Good to see you. As the folks in the US say, some of y'all cray, you know. Lolo Field Mingo. That's not like somebody who little a little too tightly wrapped, according to my cousin. Little too tightly wrapped. Good to see some of you. June Chase and Karen Archibald. Oh my God. Gloria Chester says present. You hope you're ahead of your books. I hope you all ahead up in your books. We're trying not to let this green screen affect us too much this evening, guys. Andrew Cosbort and Central Maine. Adam, St. Romain Adams, and Colleen Roberts. Good to see every one of you. Well, it's chaos and confusion in the PPP camp. It works in me. It works to me. Chaos and confusion, and we're going to be walking you guys through some of those issues. Chaos and confusion. I'm staying a little back because we're getting some trouble with the lighting and so on. We just want to get it right for you guys. Credible and valid lighting. The internet looks better here in the US. I want to get this side right. The internet looks a little better here in the US, folks. I don't know about you, but I can get used to this, right? Some folks saying they didn't realize they had a brick wall at the back. The internet better. I ain't got no struggles with GT&T here, though. No struggles with GT&T here. And we got some space. We feel like we're going to expand the studio. If you give us a month or so on, you know, we can get co-hosts and guests in studio and so on. Things a little bright in the US. How you guys see? Guyana Jones, what do you think? And Samson Richmond, and Andrew Cuthbert. What do you guys think? We could open some studios here. In the Ring, USA. Good to have you guys on. Obi Chester and Gavin Holder. Sandrine Baird is joining us from the mining town of Linden. And Jomo Fanfare, Brenda Braffett, and all the other folks. Thanks for joining us in the diaspora. So many of you have been so kind to us while we've been here. And we're looking forward to your continued support. Guys, so nice to have you in the ring. I don't know about you, but I am ready to head into these hot topics. Oh, the Jagabats unresting, and we can't rest either. The struggle continues, folks. The struggle continues. I am ready to head into the hot topics and deal with these Jagabats. It's confusion powder. Confusion powders. Take a minute, guys. I'm ready at my end. Head into the hot topics and deal with the Jagabats. How are you guys doing? Wherever you guys are joining us from, wherever you guys are joining us from, welcome in the ring. Welcome in the ring. Good to have all of you. All right, let me just make sure that I have my notes together and all is well. Guys, I don't know how these people here make out. Let me tell you about Sherry Duncan. Never see, come for see. I don't know how these people here back out. You understand me? It's 8 o'clock in the night and this place bright, bright, bright. I wonder what kind of OB is this. That's why you want to. This OB is strong. Whoever sent it. 8 o'clock in the night and this place bright, bright, bright. I say I got some time. I say when the sun go down, I can, you know, come in the ring. Next thing you know, I see it's 8 o'clock. Sun outside bright. This OB here strong. Right? Samantha Jilt says the Londoners are watching us and says good night as well. Good to see you, Samantha. Good to see you, Ariel Abrams. How is it there in London, England, with the Queen and the others? How are you doing, Denise London, Welchman, and Ariel Abrams? I see Elizabeth Norine is in the house. You got some fast people all over the place, you know. You can't let them nowhere. I gotta take some getting used to this bright daylight outside, but it's 8 and 9 o'clock in the night. Something wrong here. Nothing irregular in the States. Nothing irregular here, folks. Bright, bright, bright outside. I know it's very big, but whatever y'all do, y'all repent. We're not having it. We so accustomed. Never see, come for see. Well, y'all put me face out there. Put a name next to it. I give him one to the trenches tonight. Never see, come for see. Duncan coming to America. Guys, good to see all of you. Some of y'all and laugh for a long time. It's a little while. Never see, come for see. Yeah, try with that. Try with that, folks. I like my good old Guyana. Good old Guyana. It's happy to be out, though. Happy not to see some of you for a little while. Happy to be out. Happy to be with my brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Happy to be with some of my family in the diaspora, guys. It's good to rest and recuperate and, you know, get some renewed focus. Guys, let's get into these hot topics with these Jagabats. And we are looking at quite a number. We're looking at quite a number of issues. Let me see. Let me make sure I got things right. And yes, hot topics, folks. We are in the hot topics. And you know, this PPP, one thing you're guaranteed with the PPP file is pocketry. Every day, it's pocketry with the PPP. Purgatory, that is the theme of their administration. Granger had the good life. Forbes Barnum had clothes, feed, and house the nation. Biden got the American Rescue Plan. We got purgatory. We got the Jagabats, the crosses, the trenches, and we got purgatory, ladies and gentlemen. And just today, I saw Ali talking a whole manner of nonsense. I don't know how else to characterize it. It's a whole pack of nonsense. Because for the PPP, it's apparent that elections mean democracy. Once you have an election, that is democracy. Democracy doesn't entail anything else. Democracy doesn't entail allowing free speech. Democracy doesn't entail having the right to protest. Democracy doesn't entail criticizing your government, criticizing the IFLOT graduate, criticizing Jack Dew. Right? Democracy got different meanings, apparently, to different people, depending on which part of the world you are living in. So democracy for them just mean elections. And so I saw this Jagabat here with some of the Jagabats in the diplomatic corps. Not all of them are Jagabats. You got some, you know them, and I know them. They got a chief Jagabat too. You know the woman, I know the woman, we all know the woman. And in a couple of days, Biden will hear us on the issue of this same chief Jagabat among the diplomatic corps, among some other issues. And so, all that he said today to those couple of from the diplomatic corps who were at State House for some, every day the faces of the guardians of democracy changes. Thanking them for their vigilance during the last election. Oh, he forget 2015. He forget 2015. And the same experience they had in 2015. We are guaranteeing that they will have shortly. And while for the PPP, this fraudulent installed catfish administration, democracy only means general and regional elections. I didn't hear a word on local government elections being held as is constitutionally mandated in November. I didn't hear any of that. As a matter of fact, I saw the termination of quite a few folks at GCOM. I didn't hear anything at all about local government elections. And that to me, ladies and gentlemen, that to me is a little bit frightening. I ain't hearing nothing about that, and I want to hear something about those elections. Guys, please forgive me. Let me make sure that I am in the right places. I want to hear some more about local government elections. I'm not hearing anything about that, and it is very, very frightening to me that local government elections are constitutionally due in November. And I'm telling you, these guys aren't going to have it because they aren't interested in true democracy. And I want to know, I am excited to know of the tales they will spin. I'm very, very excited to know about the tales that they will spin come November, when constitutionally due elections are not held. And I will remind them of some of the same words spoken just today. I will be the first to remind them. And I know you guys here in the diaspora and at home in Guyana, you will ensure that you remind them as well. And so just allow me a second to get on the right page here to make sure all is well at your end. So while he talked about democracy equivalent to elections, there was no mention of local government election, no mention of how they are dismantling the Police Service Commission, no mention of how they are dismantling those independent constitutional agencies to answer to them. No mention of that. Again, because in their books, elections only equal democracy only equal to general elections. But I will be the first to tell you folks, in case you know, it's more than that. In case you all don't know, it is more than that. And while we're on GCOM, while we are on GCOM, ladies and gentlemen, oh Lord, we got a new Fantastic Four. On that side, a new Fantastic Four. You know, it is incredible to me, ladies and gentlemen, it is incredible to me how these jagabats are spinning this whole process. The PPP, now with a year over, Rhonda Lane and others, Kamal Prasad, after a year, you know, preaching about rigged elections. I am so ashamed of the PPP. We have not seen one iota of evidence pertaining to rigged elections. And they are alleging that the APNU AFC rigged and attempted to rig the last elections. And I haven't seen one iota and shred of evidence to support that. As a matter of fact, the opposite has happened. And today, ladies and gentlemen, viewers across the world, internationally, if we put into context, today, the PPP should be sorely ashamed of themselves. After a year, I didn't see a word, a line in the report that says, for instance, that Lowenfield or what process he would have undertaken to rig these elections. I haven't seen a shred of evidence about that. Or concerning Roxanne Myers, or concerning Mingo. I did not see one iota of evidence on what process, what actions did they engage in to suggest that they were attempting to rig those elections. As a matter of fact, so clueless and barren and wanting for evidence that Mingo, Myers, and Lowenfield walked away from GCOM with their entire package. With their entire package intact. Now, if that is how people who attempt to rig elections, and you got all of this evidence, are treated, I don't know, something is wrong with that. Something is either wrong with me, or something is wrong with that. Because I am looking for the evidence, and I feel like Clinton Orling tonight, show us the evidence. Let me tell you the package that these people that the PPP would have us believe attempted to rig the last election. What they walked away with after a year of probing by Bibi Shadiq, C.S. Gunraj, and this other cretin. And the chairman of GCOM, who has become a national embarrassment. Right? This is what happened. GCOM is so barren for information about this rigging. They have now resorted to their contract stipulation that you could serve notice and pay them in lieu of notice. You don't need any reasons. And that is what transpired today. The chairman of GCOM, together with these other jagabats, served notice on Mingo, Myers, and Lowenfield. Right? They served notice on them. And let me tell you what they have. Let me make sure I get the reporting right. They have walked away with from GCOM. And if this is proof of rigging, I don't know. If they didn't have proof, what would have transpired? Folks, bear with me. Let me get the information. I thought I had it right at my hand tip. It's madness. The PPP is lying to this country. They are lying to this country. And while I'm on that, and while the information comes up, you know what is going to happen? You know what is going to happen? You mark my words. We don't want to be here, but it's the kind of backward country that we live in. You mark my words. You have 3 PPP people who are going to be filling these slots. And mark my words, I'm telling you this, if I am wrong, I will shave my entire head. You have 3 handpicked Indian people who will become chief elections officer, deputy chief elections officer, and the returning officer for Region 4. And they will all be loyal to the PPP. Mark my words. And I'm telling you this, if I'm wrong, I will shave my entire head. I will shave my entire head. I'm trying to get you figures. That is what is eluding me. To show you that the PPP didn't have anything today. They didn't have anything today. And so based on their contractual terms, they have said to the folks, we're giving you notice. We no longer require your services. And we don't need to state any reasons. That is what they have pretty much come down to, ladies and gentlemen. That is what they have pretty much come down to. And I am finding there's one report that we had just at our fingertips, and I don't know why we can't locate it now. With all of the figures. Right? Let me make sure I have it right. A lot of money that is owing to these people, and they're walking away with it. A lot of money. As a matter of fact, while we wait on that, I know, for instance, that the chairman of GCOM is earning over $2.5 million a month. So I tell you this without any regrets or any fear of successful contradiction, that Claudette got it nice. Claudette got it nice. Things ain't tight with Claudette. Things ain't tight with Claudette at all. Folks, this is my error. The folks had it give me right to my fingertips, and I've managed. Distracted. Distracted with the good living. With all of the figures and numbers that the guys are walking away with. Right? Let me see if I have it here. All of the figures intact. So let me see if I have it here. Apologies, guys. Nope. Right? But as I'm going to come back to that. So this Fantastic Four, after a year trying to convince the Guyanese people about rigging, have come up short. After a year, they have come up woefully short. It's incredible to me. It is incredible to me. We don't see one iota of evidence to suggest that anybody tried to rig this election. And all GCOM has done is to serve notice. That is all GCOM has done. Serve notice. And the folks have gone on. Right? That is all that has transpired here, folks. And as I said to you, as soon as I have that information, the folks sent it to me. I apologize. I had it at my fingertips. I had it at my fingertips, and I don't know what I have done. That being said, we're going to circle back to that. We got to circle back to it. We have to circle back to it. In other news, folks, oh, Father, you see this government? You see this install regime? You call PPP? Now, about 3 months ago, if not more, folks in the diaspora, oh, they put billboards at every corner and lampposts. Right? Now that I'm in the diaspora, I say lamppost. We say lantern post. But I got to upgrade myself, folks. I'm in the diaspora. Nonsense. Mission accomplished. Promise delivered. That's what they told us. They would have handed out 20,000 scholarships. That is what they wanted us to believe. Mission accomplished. Promise delivered. Well, that is not the reality. And for the PPP, this is the PPP maths, folks. This is the PPP maths. 6 out of 20 is a pass. Mission accomplished. And let me tell you how I got to 6 out of 20. Let me break it down. Let me break it down for you folks. 6 out of 20. They are claiming that they have given out 6,000 scholarships out of 20,000. Mind you, 3 months ago they said promise delivered 20,000 scholarships. Now today they are saying 6 out of 20,000. 6,000 out of 20,000 have been offered to folks. Right? Have been offered to folks. 6,000 out of 20. And they said, that is great. Passing grade. 6 out of 20 is pass for the PPP. Because you know why? We're not holding them accountable. As a matter of fact, there isn't a student who has been told that they have been offered a scholarship, has sat in a classroom as yet. You know why? Because the PPP has pushed the launch down to August month end. And you know what they're telling people? Over 14,000 persons who applied after vetting have some information wrong in the application process. And that is why they weren't given scholarships. You can't be this PPP. So 14 and 6 is 20. So we give out 20. 6 out of 20 is a pass grade. Sonia Parag, 6 out of 20 is a pass grade for the PPP. 6 out of 20, pass grade. No child left behind. A lot of them get left behind. Behang. A lot of them get left behind. Like Sonia Parag. 6,000 scholarship. They're claiming, they're alleging. And people are telling us differently. Not a student in a classroom as yet. They said goal. Mission accomplished. 6 out of 20 is pass. Y'all see this PPP? We can trust them? You could answer that for yourself. Oh, Father. When I hear Jagdeo talk about crime and criminals, it's a laugh, people. When you hear Jagdeo talk about crime and criminals, it's a laugh. And what he said is even more laughable. Let me make sure I have the information correctly. What he said is even more laughable, people. Oh, Father, this is the senior vice president who outshining the president. Who's getting mentioned more than the prime minister? You see this puppet regime that we got? Huh? Y'all see this puppet regime that we got? Y'all try with it. I ain't keeping up no pretenses. Claudine LaRose Duqua, I ain't keeping up no pretenses. Dexter Al Maktoum and Siobhan Fraser, y'all try there. So the fella was talking about crime. The fella was talking about crime. Hear what he says. They are working. They are working on crime. We see the crime plan yet. The only thing that these jagabats hustling with is island gas. The country full of island, they're full of gas. That's all we seeing. Island gas, island gas. Jagdeo talking about crime is like putting cat for watch milk. And Mahes, Paul, you know it's the truth. Mahes, you know it's the truth. Norma Jones, Rena Cummins, Hazelyn King, Trenton Marks, Karen Smith, you all know it's true. Right? Jagdeo talking about crime is putting cat for watch milk. Hear what Jagdeo said though. Hear what this fella said. Oh, Father, Jagdeo said he's got somebody losing all year. It's either that or cancer in the backside. Hear what Jagdeo says. Apart from tough new law enforcement reforms, like the one on Regent Street the other night, those law enforcement reforms where the fellow was gunned down, those reforms, apart from tough law enforcement reforms. folks, I in the diaspora. Get out your coke. I can't even say cokes. I tell you, I got to come up to standard. Get out your cokes and your popcorn. Right? Get out your cokes and your popcorn. Here, check you. Here this fellow. This guy is out of his goddamn mind. According to the Americans, he is out of his goddamn mind. Here's the story. Jackson said, apart from tough law enforcement reforms, prison reform is next in line. We are going to build 3 safe, decent prisons at Lusignan. 3 safe prisons at Lusignan that can accommodate 1,000 prisoners. So they expect crime to go up. That can accommodate 1,000 prisoners. I think we might have some guests visiting our studios. You organize the tours, people come on the sets. I'm hearing some noise in the background. 1,000 prisoners. Right? Hear what he says. We are putting money aside to build a prison for women. But in another part of Lusignan, I know if he put in Pauline there, Sukai, I know if he put in that one Sonia Parag there. Waldron, the Lion Waldron, she's a prime candidate. Lion Onich Waldron is a prime candidate for this women prison that going at Lusignan. Hear what this Jagabat said. Jack Dio. He said we have an entire compound. We plan to do recreational facilities there. Oh, this can be the this can be the what's the hotels here? Hilton. This can be the Best Western. This can be the Marriott of prison. We're gonna have recreational facilities there. He says a school is going to be there as well. Oh yes. So the man who shot the businessman 9 times on Regent Street, he can go to school at Lusignan, a prison there. He said you have to go to school. Yes. Lots of the PPP ministers can go to the same school. We're sending them IFLOT. We're sending them Lusignan prison school. He said it's compulsory. Then we will build a training school so that people can learn a skill. We're going to take rehabilitation seriously. Yes, he's going to learn a skill. Because this is the man, this is the fellow that claiming he in the engine room. He in the engine room, but the car is starting. The car backfiring. That is all. Pat out. Share backfiring with this car. The economic dynamism come here. So the man said they're building this prison. Oh, yes. This is how they're empowering communities in Guyana. This is how they're empowering villages in Guyana. They are building the prison bigger. Right? He said they can put a school there because they're expecting plenty of people. Oh, Father, they might even got to be there. Make sure I got a little Wi-Fi to do it in the rain. He said we can build a training school there. You got to learn a skill, right? You got to, because you know why? Once you enter there clearly, your skill is not thieving, killing, robbing, dislocating the Guyanese public. He said we can teach them a skill, probably economics and oh, Father, again, economics are bad him now. We're going to take rehabilitation seriously. The whole cabinet needs to go to this school that is going to be built at Lusignan. Y'all hear story here? Y'all hear story here? Huh? Jack Dio capping. That's my family. As the people in the States they say, he capping, he lying. This Jagabat. So they're going now to build what's the name of it? The Marriott of prisons. He said they're building 4 prisons at Lusignan. For Sheikh Bash, for Nandalal, for Gail Teixeira, all of them. Y'all hear story? Folks, you better share this live stream. Y'all think it easy with these Jagabats? Y'all think it easy with these Jagabats? We invite you guys, wherever in the diaspora y'all are joining us from. My God, we invite you to share the live stream. Look, you see those people who are watching me here in the diaspora? When y'all come home, let me tell you something. Y'all is some Jagabats. When y'all come home, don't talk nothing but Guyana, son. Don't talk nothing but Guyana, son. Because this son that y'all got here, I understand why Joe Biden pay y'all so much money. It's compensation for this son. I understand that this son is easy. Right? I expected to spend a 3 months here. People I might spend 2 weeks and be home. I neighbor. I ain't bet for this madness. I coming back. I want my little dark creek water, etc., etc., and to fight these jagabats. Again, Jagdeo should have other people to talk about crime. Not he. Not Jagdeo. as the Honorable Raphael Trotman said, anybody else can lecture us. Not Jagdeo on crime and criminal activity. Or he write the book. He write the book that them boys reading from. Where are the people who shot the fellow right outside the Palm Court the other day? A stone throw from State House. Huh? They ain't lose it down yet? Huh? They ain't lose it down? You're talking nonsense. 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 Moving on, people. I ain't got time for this madman here. Moving on. Some of y'all gonna vex with me, but you're still coming back night after night for the credible information. Oh, Father. Frank Anthony. Listen to me, folks. You know, Guyanese people stifle their conscience, especially PPP supporters, the trenchies, the jagabats, the hypocrites, the hypocrites, the Nakovakamites. They stifle their conscience. If you had Frank Anthony, for instance, working at a company in the US of A or any other country, and Frank Anthony had performed so poorly as he has performed as a Minister of Health, y'all would have been recommending his immediate dismissal. But politically, no. Politically, because he's PPP, y'all gonna support him. But in your heart of hearts, y'all know Frank doing a certain nonsense. A bundle of stupidness. 2 more COVID deaths today. 88 new cases. 2 more COVID deaths. 88 cases. And you know what Frank is saying today? After locking out patients, doctors, and nurses from health institutions, listen to the flip-flop. Frank is saying that persons who are now seeking government services can now access them freely. You know why? Protest in the backside. Protests. That is the only thing they understand. Protests. And so they are now walking back on their stupidity. So after locking out patients, seeking medical attention, just because you exercise your right of choice, they're now saying, oh, patients can now access government facilities without being required to be vaccinated. And other facilities. Well, another minister, based on how they're operating, could come and say something totally different tomorrow. But that's what Frank said as of this hour. Frank is also saying, after he saw what started transpiring at Linden, he said he's giving the health professionals 2 weeks to be vaccinated. Your best don't go back in slumber. Folks, I am telling you this. Do not go back into slumber. Don't. These guys only understand brute force and ignorance. And so I appeal to you. This time look too bad. I appeal to you guys. Do not go back into slumber. It is the protests that they have been seeing around the country. Whether it is APNU supporters, whether they think it's APNU supporters or their own supporters. That is what they have been seeing. Right? And that is the only language they understand. Look, they had some people draining the rice fields and so on in Region 6. They ain't coming to front with the people money, their own people, their own supporters. It's protesting the backside. Because that is all they understand. Protests. Look some of what transpired recently.
find the fucking chest out for you right there. Yeah, man. What is it? I'm telling you, fuck. Yeah. FPM.
Go on, be sure. Good man. The man is on was at $1 million from here. The thing who for beer, I will do some water pumping, and then I want to pay the money when I agree to. So, in the area, they get paid on for the money from the government. Yeah, they might.
Yep. So those guys aren't having it. The people say they want their monies. Y'all ask us to use our own resources to pump the water off the land, and y'all second is block the people in Region 6. Their own supporters blocking the roads. And y'all gonna dress back now? Huh? With these jacobats? Y'all know soon as things gone back to quiet, it's the same old PPP. You're gonna see stepping forward. Y'all better hold the line. Y'all better hold the line and ensure we got all the promises of what is entitled to us as citizens in a democratic society. Hold the line. Hold the line of these jacobats. That is what we have to do. Hold the line. Whether you're living in quarantine and you see them doing wrong, hold the line. Region 3, you see them doing wrong, hold the line, and you're wrong, hold the line. Region 1, 2, hold the line. Because that is all these jacobats understand. And we got to hold the line. That being said, the leader of the opposition has spoken on this matter of COVID and this partial suspension of some of the vaccination measures. This partial suspension, that is why I'm saying we got to hold the line. They give you crumbs. And they think now we can go back into this docile thing and then they're going to ride over us. But we got to hold the line. And here is what the leader of the opposition said. He said the APNU AFC coalition salutes those brave citizens, and I salute you guys as well, who will not allow their rights and civil liberties to be trampled upon by an uncaring PPP regime. The temporary relaxation of the measures is a partial step towards allowing good sense and reason to prevail. It is wholly regrettable that it took citizens taking to the streets to force the regime to acknowledge their missteps in attempting to impose unreasonable measures on the people. The PPP regime cannot ignore the overwhelming and understandable concern of Guyanese who must be treated with dignity and respect at all times. And that is what we are holding the line for, irregardless of whether you're a PPP. As a matter of fact, if you are a PPP supporter, and that is your constitutional right, you have a greater responsibility to hold the line to folks who supposedly you have given your support and your vote to. You have a greater responsibility because you said the last man was doing nonsense and y'all can do better. And so you all have a greater responsibility to hold the line. And as we look to program time, I want to touch on two other issues. And one was an editorial I saw coming out of Kaichor News. One coming out of Kaichor News. And the header for the editorial was, when will emancipation be true? When will emancipation be true? And ladies and gentlemen, it is high time you and I stop seeing each other as APNU AFC, as PPP, as WPA, and see ourselves as Guyanese. As Guyanese, we have absolutely no reason why our country should be in the state it is today. 50, don't know how much years after independence, we have no excuse. Here is what. that editorial, how that editorial read, or part of how that editorial read. Kaicho News, dear friends, we don't have far to go into the past. Only a mere year ago to 19 months before that is focused upon, and there is a picture and proof of the slaveries that exist in full flow here in Guyana. We ain't got to go back 100 years to talk about slavery. Kaicho News is saying, just look at the last year. Just look at the last year. First, there is the racial slavery that isolate and hold hostage the greatest segments of this country population. Those enslaved segments cannot move, cannot even think clearly and naturally anymore. Guyana's prosperous racial slavery enables its fettered people to harbor, speculate, or imagine the worst about those that are believed to desire nothing but to stand over them and harness them with oppressive, beastly burdens. So as a society struggles to get by, while always looking warily for those who would make virtual slaves of one feared side or the other. And then they go on. And lastly, I will read concerning this editorial. There is leadership slavery. This is Kaicho News editorial. There is leadership slavery in Guyana, which takes two forms. The first is where parts of a population are committed and helplessly tied to political leaders on the one hand, and on the other hand, of the leaders who prey upon the fears and vulnerabilities of those same segments of a largely unthinking population to dance to their driving whips, to submit to their chains. That's part of the editorial. Talking about modern day neo-slavery in Guyana. So we don't look for chains and whips physically anymore. It is mentally. And we said this last night in our program, there is a tangible fear and a building of emotions in Guyana currently, and something has got to give. And folks, finally in our program tonight, I want to turn our attention to something Stanley Ming said recently. Because this is how you know, folks, that there is a moment occurring in the soul of this nation. There is a moment occurring in the soul of this nation. Right? And we have to sense it to be able to move our country forward and our people forward. And the PPP has been getting it totally wrong. So Stanley Ming, businessman Stanley Ming, who is celebrating his 70th birthday, happy birthday, sir. A true patriot as a Guyanese, who didn't write that editorial I read by Stablet News, by Kaicho News, but almost identical. Guyanese are fed up of mediocre leadership. They are fed up of mediocre leaders. And I dare say on all sides. And so we better get it right or get left behind. This is what Stanley Ming said recently. Folks, y'all better listen, you know. Y'all had better listen and be moved to action, or 50 years from now, we'll be wondering, whatever happened with the oil money? Whatever happened with the oil money? Whatever happened with the promised development? Y'all better listen and be moved to action. So Stanley Ming is visiting Hawaii. He's visiting Hawaii, and in a part of Hawaii, he's marveling at how people are moving forward. That's one of the things I've noticed here in the US. Everybody pulling in the same direction. We are Democrats, we are Republicans, we are Libertarians, whoever. But we are for the development and advancement of our country. We are for the development, advancement, and the forward movement of our country. And 50 odd years later, we have no excuse as Guyanese. So hear what Ming says. I'll read a part of it for you. After witnessing what he's seeing, after traveling to so many countries, he loves his country. Right? And hear what he said, because I think it is worth mentioning. Right? He said Guyana has 83,000 square miles. It is 139 times the size of, I think this place is called Ochoa. I might be pronouncing it incorrectly. My apologies. He says our Atlantic coastline has a few beaches in the northwest and the Berbice coast. However, the Essequibo River has the length of over 600 miles with over 70 miles of pristine brown sand beaches and fresh water along the banks of its 50 miles beyond the mouth. Beyond the narrow Atlantic coastline, he says, which is minuscule, we have lush savanna and countless rivers, creeks, lakes, waterfalls, mountain ranges, pristine forests covering over 50,000 square miles with over 1,000 species of trees, abundant wildlife, and bird species. With over 200 varieties of fruits and vegetables and abundance of fresh water, the country has the potential to grow and process not only all the food we need, but also for the entire Caribbean and beyond. The unquestionable abundance of natural and mineral resources, including timber, sand, granite, bauxite, gold, diamond, manganese, and the recent discoveries of over 10 billion barrels of recoverable oil, etc., put us in a very enviable position. We must ask ourselves, Stanley Ming says, we must ask ourselves, the businessman says, and be critical in identifying and defining the reasons for the sad fact that we are the second poorest country in the hemisphere and one of the most undeveloped when it comes to infrastructure and a very fractured civil society. And finally, here is what Stanley Ming said. That's why I tell you, he didn't write the Culture News editorial, but there is something happening in the soul of the country that these numb, daft politicians are missing. Stanley Ming says, in short, our failures are mainly due to the lack of visionary leadership, entrenched corruption, poor educational and medical facilities, and deep-rooted distrust between the two major ethnic groups. I'll repeat that once more. Our failures are mainly due to the lack of visionary leadership, entrenched corruption, poor education and medical facilities, and deep-rooted distrust between the two major ethnic groups. Businessman Stanley Ming. And I wonder, our leaders, you'll come into these first world countries and go back home countless time. And some of y'all can still come. Y'all don't shame for the country? Y'all don't shame 50 years later? Here is where we are, folks. 50 odd years later, independent as a republic. And we still got to be clapping when light come back and water come. And we still got to be using down GT&T every month. And garbage still piling up in the city. We ain't shame. Who ain't talking to Harman? Which political leader and which political party? Nonsense. What Granger do and what Granger didn't do. Looking back. Distracted from the future that beckons us. 10 billion barrels of oil. And 2 years later, what have we to show for it? Huh? The biggest thing on the agenda is Mingo, Lowenfield, and Myers. And not even to say there's a shred of evidence that says they were involved in any way in rigging. 1 year later of court cases, the people walk in the merry way with the full package. Full package. I don't want to quote it wrong by any means, but I think, what's his name? Lowenfield walking away with about $30 million. Myers probably with about 15 or 20. Based on the figures, and these are, and I am saying in uplifted comments because I really wanted to make sure that my math was right. And I was looking for that article. We in shame? We in shame? We should be sitting down together and thinking about what the next 30 years in our country will look like. The next 40 years together as a people. The American had an insurrection. The American people had an insurrection on Capitol Hill. And Joe Biden still sitting down with the Republicans to move the development of their country forward. And we got here for now. I'm not meeting with Harman until you recognize my legal government. Nonsense, man. Nonsense. 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 You all might not like my politics. You all might not like the political party or coalition that I support, but ask yourself in your quiet moments, am I right or am I wrong? And somewhere in there, you will find you share the same views. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time we move our country forward. It is time we move our country forward. And I really want to thank all of you who join us night after night. We examine these stories, examine these issues at home, examine these issues in the diaspora, seeking a middle ground on the way to move our country forward. That's how we're going to do it, together. You are going to have to stand at I Am APNU AFC, and in particular, AFC Alliance for Change, and see past my politics in some instances, and I'm going to have to do the same with you. If we are going to build a Guyana for all of us, we're going to have to do that. Alison Cortez and Karen and Robin Narayan and Holder Thomas, Robin Allen Barnwell and Dawn Sturge and Cecile Ogle, June Mona. We're going to have to do that together and build this country. Build a country for the future, for our children and our children's children. Guyanese flying out. Guyanese aren't flying asking how I can help. And we need the best minds at the wheels. And if you all think the best minds only the PPP, you're a part of the problem. And I said the same thing in your mindset. If we feel the best minds are only in APNU AFC, we're part of the problem. We got to do these things together and forward. I don't want to hear nothing but who can lead the PNC. Mind your own damn business. I'm not concerned with that. Whoever want to lead the PPP, lead it. Prove us that y'all can do better. I don't care who the hell leads the coalition. How can I help? How can I help to move my country forward? That is what I want to know. I want to build this land that belongs to we. That is what I want to be part of. And now who can lead and who can be behind and who can be second in charge. I'm not concerned about that. Because 1 year after the PPP's administration, we should all be very frightened and continue to hold the line against all their excesses. Hold the line, folks. Continue to social distance, continue to wear your mask, continue to sanitize. Practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are there for your health and for your safety. Folks, I want to invite you once more. The old voice going, people, is this AC. This AC business. It's from the hot to the cold. Y'all try that. I go back to my country and work for Billet. And those of you in the diaspora and y'all are helping us, we say kudos to you. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for your help. The diaspora matters and must be engaged in meaningful ways. And to all the folks in the US, my family, my friends, and all, I say thank you for your hospitality. I've had a great time, but I think I can cut this thing short and head home. Boots on the ground, people. Boots on the ground. Good to see so many of you guys. We invite you to share the live stream. I want you to share the live stream. Rita, you share the live stream. Rita, sing. Gary Greenwich, you share it. Some of y'all talking about struggling. I tell y'all, night after night, y'all can't even share the live stream. And y'all are the biggest agitators. You can't even share the live stream. Guys, good to have so many of you. We are quickly approaching our first anniversary in the ring, guys, and I'm going to be coveting your support for us to expand what we do here in the ring. Right? After a year, we must see growth. We mustn't go going back. We mustn't go in behind. I'm not following the PVP. Forward ever. Good to see each and every one of you. Good to see each and every one of you. And guys, it is my privilege. I'm humbled every night to see thousands of you show up for the broadcast. Thanks for staying with us. Thank you for watching with us this hour. And we're going to see you guys tomorrow, God willing. Stay safe. Stay safe. And share the live stream. Pauline Chambers, Denise Munderson, and Deslin Isaacs, Don Sturge. I invite each and every one of you guys to share the live stream. Very soon we're going to have an after show. After the show, we got another show discussing these issues deeper. Very soon we're going to have a morning show as well, giving you those issues that are critical to understand very early in the morning, setting the tone for your day. Very, very soon, people. We want to expand, and I ask you for your support in whatever way you can. Some of you got the expertise, how we can do this thing better and bigger. Some of you have the financial resources. Some of you got the physical resources. We need cameras. We need lights. We're expanding, guys. After a year, we must see growth. I like to be part of things that are growing and moving forward. Don't put me with nothing stunted. I ain't having it. I'm not having it at all. At all. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining the ring this evening. And we're going to see you guys right back here tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, guys. It's been our privilege and our pleasure. Stay safe.